Sometimes a hypocrite is nothing more than a person who is in the process of changing. Dalinar Kholin. A journey will have pain and failure. It is not only the steps forward that we must accept, it is the stumbles, the trials, the knowledge that we will fail, that we will hurt those ones around us, but if we stop, if we accept the person we are when we fall, the journey ends. That failure becomes our destination. To love the journey is to accept no such end. I have found through painful experience that the most important step is the next one. Dalinar Kholin, the Blackthorn, known as a tyrant throughout the world, often being in the lead of a war against the king's enemies, squashing rebellions throughout Roshar at the king's order. Dalinar was a man not to be trifled with. His vengeance was known across the world, and he is feared throughout the land. While some have viewed him as a conquering hero, as well as a respected leader, those he conquered see him as the Blackthorn, the warmongering tyrant. Dalinar is one of the high princes of Alethkar, and in his Blackthorn days he was in charge of the military campaigns to unite Alethkar. Then 10 princedoms warring against each other. He went to war under his brother's leadership, his brother being King Gavilar. One of the greatest tragedies of this war of unification that Dalinar fought was the destruction of the Rift, also known as Rathalos, ordered burned to the ground and destroyed along with all of its inhabitants by order of Dalinar. This was among the most brutal acts of Dalinar during the war and one of the most terrible tragedies committed. Despite his reputation, Dalinar never fully recovered from this and has seemingly suffered from some form of post-traumatic stress disorder from having ordered this assault and witnessing the destruction and aftermath of this bloody and terrible battle and tragedy. These wars took a terrible toll on Dalinar, who often was at odds with his wife, Evie, regarding his war efforts. His wife wanted peace, not bloody conquest. This bloody war cost him dearly, for his wife did not survive the war. Dalinar was so distraught about this, wishing he had been a better husband to Evie, his wife, the mother of his children. He sought out the Night Watcher, who is said to grant wishes with both a boon and a curse. The memory of his wife was wiped from his mind. He could not hear her name or even remember her. Often when her name was spoken, all he would hear is shh. Her image became nothing but a blur. Whether this is the boon or the curse is up for debate. Only Dalinar knows his curse and boon. Dalinar, aside from his skill in battle that earned him the nickname the Blackthorn, he was also unique among war leaders in that he is a shard bearer. His shard blade, having the name of Oathbringer, also one of the books in the Stormlight Archive. Shardplate grants its wearer increased speed, agility, endurance when infused with Stormlight. While it certainly makes a shardbearer much harder to defeat and kill in battle, it is not impossible. And should one manage to kill a shardbearer in battle, then that person can become not only nobility, but a shardbearer as well. However, shardplate and blades could also be inherited. This armor and weaponry is rare, and only a select few nobility even have access to them. When the Stormlight Archive opens, Alethkar has been united into a single kingdom, with Gavilar as king. However, Dalinar is not the same man he used to be, suffering from a form of PTSD after his war campaign, usually spending his nights in a drunken stupor as he did the night of Gavilar's assassination by the assassin in white. This is the beginning of his journey, from war leader to unifier. This is Dalinar's rock bottom when he realizes that he must change, as he failed to protect his brother, his wife, and others. After the king's assassination, the mantle of leadership falls to Dalinar, and this is what begins his journey out from the depths of his drunken misery to become the leader he evolves into over the course of the Stormlight Archive. Gavilar, with his dying breath, asks Dalinar to follow the codes. These codes are the rules of conduct found in a book that his brother had increasingly become obsessed with, called The Way of Kings, which is the opening book in this series. Dalinar begins to read this book himself, wishing only to fulfill his brother's last wishes. But this is also the beginning of a massive journey and change for Dalinar. The assassination of King Gavilar leads to the vengeance pact between the High Princes of Alethkar against the Parshendi, who accept the blame and responsibility for this act of war against Alethkar. The Parshendi being a group of alien inhabitants of the world that coexist with the kingdoms of men. The 10 princedoms unite in a war of vengeance on the Shattered Plains. It's many years later, after the 10 princedoms have had their 10 army camps that have grown to 10 cities essentially, on the plains, that Dalinar begins having visions and dreams like his brother often spoke of. These visions and dreams repeat to him, "Unite them," over and over again. At this point, the 10 princes and their 10 armies have basically become nothing more than a competitive war for the gem hearts found in the great shelled beasts of the plains, and a war game to capture these with the Parshendi and each other. None working together, but as rivals in this ongoing game. Dalinar recognizes this and embarks on his journey to unite the 10 armies and finally bring an end to this war. But of course, the princedoms are not all that interested in ending the war due to the lucrative profits of the gem hearts from the chasm fiends. What Dalinar does not realize at first is that these visions, which come during the high storms being regular powerful storms of hurricane strength that regularly ravage the land, it is through these high storms that gems and radiance get their infusion of stormlight that powers their abilities, often leading others to think he is going mad and insane. These visions are in fact the beginning of his transformation to become something more than just a ruler of Alethkar and mighty warrior, but a knight radiant. These visions of the past, being communicated to him by the Stormfather, lead Dalinar to become a heretic of the Vorin Church, due to these visions revealing the truth about God and the coming of the Voidbringers. While others are skeptical of his claims, Dalinar comes to know what he is being shown as the truth, and his urgency to unite them becomes more and more apparent. Dalinar's story is one of change, from the man he used to be to a radiant known as a bondsmith, to be a uniter. But rather than uniting through war, he is tasked to unite through peace, something that the monarchs of the world are skeptical of given his past history. These visions that Dalinar is having come to him via his bond with the Stormfather, one of the most powerful Spren in existence. The Stormfather is not just an ordinary Spren, but a literal piece of God, the god Honor, whom Dalinar declares is dead. Dalinar's declaration that Honor is dead leads to further division and is considered to be blasphemy by the Vorin Church to declare such a thing. But this is not where his blasphemy ends. Dalinar is in effect excommunicated from the Vorin Church. Dalinar comes to understand that he must bring back the ancient order of the Knights Radiant, a group of powerful warriors divided into 10 orders, each with a different herald at the head of each order. The orders of the Knights Radiant will be saved for another video, however. This is met with opposition because it is believed that the Knights Radiant broke their oaths and betrayed mankind and cannot be trusted in the deep lore of this world, but Dalinar wished to return to the ideals that the orders were found on initially, restore trust, and bring back this army of knights to fight the desolation of the Voidbringers in order to save humanity. Dalinar's story is one of great change, of struggle, of a man desperate to fulfill his brother's last wishes and save humanity from the ultimate destruction that awaits them. Dalinar is a flawed man who, while his methods in the past may have been harsh, only wishes to do what he feels is right, albeit often not working out the way that he wants them to. Like other characters of the Stormlight Archive, Dalinar is relatable in his desire to do what is right. His struggle is very real, and he is by far one of my favorite characters from the Stormlight Archive. Dalinar, in his own way, is a good man trying to do what's right, with a tortured, troubled, dark past and history. But it's that dark history, that dark past of Dalinar's, combined with his desire to do better and to be a better man, that makes him such a fascinating and interesting character. And it's part of what I love about Dalinar and his overall character as a whole. So if you have not read the Stormlight Archive, I would definitely recommend doing so. Be sure to stay tuned in the description below for links to my other character videos from this series of Stormlight Archive characters. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can join me on Discord. You can also join me on Patreon if you like what I do here and would like to support the channel for as little as $1 per month. Again, thanks for watching. Leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on Dalinar from the Stormlight Archive. And until next time, keep on reading. Bye!